festival to you. Fringe Radio.
Hello again and welcome to programme 16 of our 28 daily programmes coming to you direct from Radisson Blu Hotel here in the heart of Edinburgh. I'm Stuart Cameron. In today's show, guests include Tam Cowan, a man who's been presenting Off the Ball on BBC Radio Scotland for, would you believe, 33 years, and he's one of the top stand-up comedians in the business. We meet Australian comedian Grace Jarvis. Julia Bregeron talks about the French contingent at the Fringe. I meet up with the stars of the extraordinary acrobatic show Exit. Smack the Pony's Fiona Allen is on the show. We meet one of the top PRs in the business to give us a behind-the-scenes peek at what goes on. And the show Toe Poke, which has delighted Scottish football fans, will be analysed by Stuart McFarlane. But first, some music from Fringe act Durango Blue, who we met on the show a few days ago. This is Calm Quiet Streets.
Wasted time on the sidelines, hoping for an open goal. All I scored near left me in a hole. Moved out of the city, recognized defeat. I was made for calm and quiet streets. Moved on like the weather, could not stay the same. I know you did not need me or my pain. Those dancing flowers you gave me, they were made of plastic, baby, but they made me smile, and I have no regrets. Roll by now, it's been some time, and those dancing flowers, they remind me of you when the sun shines. And I'm doing well now, I hope that's true for you. If ever you think about me, don't regret me when you do. Those dancing flowers you gave me, they were made of plastic, baby, but they still make me smile, and I have no regrets. Oh, they still make me smile, and I have no regrets. Dancing flowers you gave me, they were made of plastic, baby, but they still make me smile, and I have no regret. Those dancing flowers you gave me, they were made of plastic, baby, they still make me smile, and I have no regret. Oh, they still make me smile, and I have no regrets. Oh, they still make me smile, and I have no regrets.
Durango Blue, who enjoyed a couple of successful nights at the Fringe and one of their latest songs. Now, Tam Cowan is one half of the BBC Radio Scotland team who present Off the Ball every Saturday lunchtime with Stuart Cosgrove, and ahead of his Scottish tour, he's on a sellout run at the Stand 3, which is so funny, and at the end of one of his shows, he spoke with Stuart McFarlane.
Tam, Great to see you again. It has been a while, but it's nice to see you. I'll get the words out. To see you through here in Edinburgh.
It's lovely to see a radio presenter with your grasp of vocabulary and speech patterns.
You'd think by now, after about 30 years, I'd be able to open an interview with a more succinct question.
Well, I'm thinking, having all the days of seeing you in the BBC, you're hardly starstruck with me. Who's all the ones that you've seen when you've been cutting about the BBC? Who's all the top names? Them that you were starstruck by?
Well, Billy Dodds, and
Billy Dodds,
so that there's
Set a high bar, yeah.
I was going to talk about height of bar
Jackie
right
Bird.
enough. I haven't bumped into Jackie Bird.
Judith Ralston.
Yeah. Met Judith. Actually met Judith at Highland Games, Bridge of Allen Highland Games.
Finally got a big network break down the weather, and she got complaints. Did you see that? Folk from down south were saying she had a hard accent.
You're touring for the
Yes.
first time.
Yes.
The Fringe is sort of, I guess, part of that. What does the Fringe mean to you?
What the Fringe means to me was a great day and night out with my pals, because I always came every year before I'd ever performed at it. You would get one banker ticket. You'd try to book for somebody like Frank Skinner, Jerry Sadowitz, somebody like that. You knew this is going to be dynamite. And then you would wander about and look at the names chalked up on boards, look at the posters and just take a chance. And sometimes there's learned people in this room that were recording this in, they might agree with me. Sometimes if you go and see something and it's terrible, it can be even funnier than a very funny comedian, because it's just so bad, and you think, and you just get a fit of the giggles. But it was always a great day out, and you would always get a nice bit of grub, you'd get a few pints, you'd stoat about. It's the most beautiful city in the world, so what's not to like? So when I had the chance for a couple of years ago, obviously I do gigs right around the country anyhow, but to do a concerted effort at the Fringe with the lovely Carnation Productions, who look after me spotlessly, it was too good to miss. So I'm staying in here in Edinburgh. I'm here for a month, and I'm at the Radisson Hotel for a month. So I've estimated that I'll lose £8,500 from this run of shows.
But you're obviously doing it for the love of it.
Aye, no, I do love it. I mean, the audiences have been great every day. We've as good as sold out. And I see blasts for the past, old pals that I've not seen for a while. There's one sitting down the front today, a guy called Scott Holtz, who grew up with me when I was 5 and we moved into a housing scheme in Motherwell called Calder Grove. And Scott and his family were 5 doors up. And here he was coming to see me in a show. Last time I saw him, we were probably playing hunts or game of Fitbit, they bought me the street or something, you know. So all that part of it's great as well. And just being in Edinburgh for a month, it's absolutely fabulous. But so I'm here for a month, and then I'd start a tour of Scotland, because another promoter, Regular Music, who are major players, they've done all the Scottish bands and all that for years and years and years. Mark Mackey, who runs them, and indeed his offices are 2 doors down for here, he came to one of my shows here last year. That was a wee bit of luck that you can get. And then he approached me, he says, I really liked your show. Have you ever thought of doing a tour of Scotland? And I says, well, I have now. And I says, but I'd need to clear my diary for a bit. How long are you looking? He says, could you get us a month, a clear month? So the other things that you've got upcoming, this was last year, and I penciled in for him, I says, there's September 2026, you can have that. And then he's so sharp, he came back about 2 days later, he had dates, he had venues, and he says, are you happy with that? I says, yeah, let's go for it. So next month it's all round about Scotland up. I deliberately wanted, because I'm best known for doing Off the Ball on the radio, and we've done that for 32 years, I wanted to do the whole country, because there's so many folk tune in. So we're going for Strathpeffer, which is a way up there, to Hoyk, down in the borders, and everywhere in between. And I can't wait, it'll be great, it'll be brilliant.
Different audiences as well, and of course different languages, well, not so much different language, different accents, but in Hoyk it is. I mean, you've got Youtway, and rather than U2, Irish tribute band, Youtway. Better watch, because this is going out in Hoyk, but it is the yows and my's rather than you and me.
I love Hoyk, it's brilliant. And the last time I was in there, how far's Hoyk for Gala?
18 miles, more or
I was
less.
down there in Mother string to my bow doing restaurant reviews. And when I realised that I was driving through Gala, I stopped the car and I took a walk about Gala. Who do you think I was looking for? John Davidson.
Oh, of course, yeah. Well, he's performance. Yeah, he's performing.
And I'm the same age as John. And I grew up, if you like, with John. I saw John's first ever documentary about John, The Boy's Not Mad. And it was mind-blowing, right?
The QED one, John's Not Mad. Yeah.
I've still no met him for obvious reasons. The BBC won't let us have him on our live radio show. Fair enough. But, what a great guy. what a story indeed. I was going to say, he's got to tell. He told that brilliant film, I Swear. It was tremendous, and he was here, and I missed him here last week. He was doing an in-conversation thing on the same stage that I've just come off, and he was great. So genuinely, he's such a hero of mine. When I realised, this is Gala, and I thought, what, Gala? John Davidson's tune. And I parked the motor before I went to the restaurant that I was to review, and I was looking about, sticking my head in pubs and all that, just hoping I would see him and get a photo with him or something, you know. Guy's absolutely brilliant. I will meet him one day, and he could call me all the names he wants. I would be willing him on. But with that, he's got some system in place now. He's got a thing that he bites into from time to time. He's got a different way of speaking. If you watch it, I'm a nerd with things like this. And whatever he's been told by the guys who are Tourette's geniuses, then it's really, really good. And I think he says now it's only when he gets really worked up, or if he meets somebody, bumps into somebody famous, a footballer on the street, then he would just lose it. But he's so well known now that who could possibly be offended if he shouted some obscenity at you, you know? But he's a great guy.
Last time I saw him was at Murrayfield in the West End,
Right.
but, during an international. He actually works at Langley Community Centre. So that's the section of Gala where
They
he's...
cover all that in the film and all that, and the fact he was in there almost as a YTS, and then they realised this guy's great and this guy's a grafter, and they gave him the job as like the Johnny, the caretaker, whatever you want to call it, and he was made up. And it's great. He's one of my heroes, and he's one of the guys up there like the Smeato. When did you last hear of Smeato?
Glasgow Airport, 2007.
Terrorists at Glasgow Airport. He's like one of the guys, you know. He's got that stature, you know, a right cult hero. But so anyhow, so Hoyk. When I know when I get down to do my show in Hoyk, I'll be taking a wee drop into Gala as well, looking for Johnny D.
Now, if time allows, I was going to ask you about the Phil Differ, Gregor Fisher era of comedy, because that would be about the time you were starting to write for Naked Video, Naked Radio as well, I think, just before it finished.
Differ, I'd started writing wee bits and pieces when I was in sixth year at a school, and Philip Differ took me under his wing. Naked Radio was on the go at the time, which became Naked Video on the telly, which was network.
And Naked Radio had a Fringe show here in 1985.
That's right, aye, absolutely. So when it became Naked Video, which was a long-running sketch show, Gregor Fisher, Helen Lederer, Elaine C. Smith, Johnny Watson, Andy Gray, Tony Roper, that was mega. And so it was a great opportunity to write. I could write for Naked Video and write for Naked Radio. Philip Differ had already started in its 40th anniversary this year, Only an Excuse, when that was just the audio version. Folk were running about their work and all that with the wee cassette tape. Have you heard this? Have you heard this? It was incredible, right? So I was able to write a few lines for that as well, as a big football fan. So I was overjoyed. So Philip Differ, I always mention him if ever I'm crediting anybody when I've ever done, right? He really took me under his wing when I was just a young laddie, and he's still my pal, and I'm seeing him through here next week, and it was tremendous. So I've got a lot of time for him, and I worked with him then. Almost it was role reversal. When I went on to do my old telly show, which ran for 10 years offside, Phil was one of the producers on that, and we, Johnny Watson, did a wee 5-minute spot doing his voices, all the famous folk in football. So it's been a long old career.
And talking football, if we can, just to finish with, the 18th of May 1981 will mean very different things to you and I, because I would be at the opposite end of Hampden Park.
When I mention about Motherwell winning the cup final, I always say it was the greatest Scottish cup final ever, and we were fortunate to win it. I always then say, and I keep using the same phrase, it takes two to tango, and I'm always quick to say the Dundee United will always have a wee spot in my heart for creating that magical game that day, which I'll never, ever, ever forget, you know. So I've certainly, it's no a ha-ha, get it up, you we beat you. I'll always have a soft spot for Dundee United because of that game 35 years ago.
Yeah, I have to echo your sentiments there. It was a tremendous game. Well, Tam, thank you ever so much for your time. You're a very busy man, and it's great to see you. Tam, thank you. Thanks a lot. Cheers now.
Tam Cowan, absolute legend, and do check out his Scottish tour, which is coming your way later in the year. And of course, his Fringe shows at Stand 3, if you can get a ticket. He's a very popular man, and by the way, half the interview we couldn't actually broadcast. I wonder why. Now, after the break, my first visit to the Royal Mile on the show, where we pounce on unsuspecting producers and actors and get to hear all about their shows. Always unpredictable and always great fun. So who did I meet up with this morning? We'll find out very soon.
Bringing the festival to you. Fringe Radio.
I cannot believe he asked me to do OnlyFans.
Hold on, let's talk about this.
There's nothing to talk about.
We're always complaining about money.
Then get another job. I am not selling my body. I'm listening to me now. I'm good at this.
15 Minutes of Shame, from the 7th to the 30th of August at 7:20 at Playground 2 at Zoo Playground. Tickets at edfringe.com.
Black Blues Brothers, Let's Twist Again. Fringe favourites, the Black Blues Brothers are back. Expect a rock and roll jukebox, a train station and lots of acrobatics. Every day from August 5th to August 31st at 5 p.m. at McEwen Hall, Bristow Square. Tickets available at edfringe.com.
Two sisters, one man. A history neither of them fully understands. Becca, a painter, moves into architect Charlie's flat, and the two quickly form a bond far deeper than either expected. But when miscommunication leaves their relationship unresolved, Becca's older sister Emily returns from traveling and unexpectedly falls for Charlie, unaware of everything that came before. As feelings collide and buried truths begin to surface, three lives become dangerously intertwined. A story of love, timing, sisterhood, and what happens when nobody says what they really mean. Almost everything is on at Bra Venues. Grand Lodge Venue 7 at 12 noon every day until August the 30th, except for the 26th. Tickets from edfringe.com.
We're broadcasting from the Radisson Blu Hotel, Edinburgh city centre, surrounded by the buzz of the Royal Mile, where you can recharge, refuel and jump straight back into the festive fun. With the space on the Mile based here, 7 theatres are filled with performances from morning until night every day of the Fringe. If you want to be at the centre of the action, this is the right place.
What is the most powerful force in the universe? This August, magician and physicist Kevin Quantum brings an all-new Fringe show to Edinburgh. Invisible Force. Expect brand new magic inventions, impossible moments you'll never have seen before, and astonishing illusions where science and mystery collide. Electricity crackles, reality bends, and you'll leave questioning what's actually possible. Funny, surprising, and unlike anything else at the Fringe. Search Quantum at edfringe.com and discover Kevin Quantum, Invisible Force.
Bringing the festival to you, Fringe Radio.
It's raining here in Edinburgh, but the lovely Charmaine has lent me an umbrella for at least this interview anyway. And Charmaine, you're part of a cappella, A Degree of Harmony, the Oxford Alternatives.
Yes.
Now, when you say Oxford Alternatives, do you mean alternative to Out of the Blue?
One could say that we're an alternative to Out of the Blue. Out of the Blue is another wonderful a cappella group. They've got lower voices. We've got girls in the mix, so we've been able to access a bit more of a range, but they are a really wonderful a cappella group.
There's a lot of talent in Oxford. I used to live there for 30 years. Well, Abingdon, which wasn't too far away.
No, beautiful.
Yeah, a lovely, lovely place. And days at BBC Radio Oxford and Fox FM, now sadly gone. Well, Fox is gone anyway. Anyway, back to you. A cappella, A Degree of Harmony. It's at Nicholson Street, the Space Surgeons Hall, until the 22nd, so not long to go. 1:35 every day at Venue 53. Lots of a cappella shows here. Why are you different?
We have really wonderful arrangements. We do all sorts of music. We do ABBA, we do stuff like Pompeii. We have really eclectic arrangements. I think what really makes our group stand out is the quality and the range of our voices. But obviously, there's so much room for a cappella at the Fringe, and all these other shows are also very, very wonderful.
There's a great camaraderie, isn't there, between the a cappella community?
Yes, for sure. There's so many other Oxford groups. We have Gargoyles, we have Out of the Blue, and they're all very wonderful. And really happy to be able to share the festival with all of them.
Share the love.
Share the love, exactly.
How did you get involved with this particular group?
So I just started my master's at Oxford this year, and I saw Alternatives. We're the longest running Oxford a cappella group.
So there's a selling point.
Yes, we started since 1993, so there's so much history of a cappella within this group at Oxford, and it's just a very lovely, classy set of people who are very accepting of everyone. So it's been really lovely to be able to be part of this group.
Well, we wish you all the best with it. It's Venue 53, the Space Surgeons Hall, until the 22nd of August, and it all starts at 1:35. Charmaine, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Very nice to meet you.
So it may be raining, but people are still leafleting, and it doesn't really matter to them at all, does it? Who have we got here?
I'm Eric. I play Harry in If Aliens Attack, I Die First.
And I'm Joe. I play Claudius, definitely not the alien.
Now, it's called If Aliens Attack, I'd Die First. It's on till the 22nd, so not long to go now. 1:55 is when it starts. It's on Venue 9, which is the Space at Niddry Street. It's Imperial College Union. Tell us about them.
Well, we're a STEM uni, so we take a lot of pride in, doing a bit of theatre on the side, because it's nice to take a break from all the... I know, I do physics myself, so it's great to take a break. It's a lovely society. We put on 2 big shows a year, but this is our 3rd year at Fringe, my first time. It's been lovely. We've had a lovely atmosphere, really.
And how have things been going?
They've been going great so far. We've gotten some really good reviews from our first 2 nights, and it's been a great experience. It's most of our first time at Fringe with the society, and actually it's written by the same person that produced it, who is also a member of Imperial Drama Society.
And that's Bennett Horan.
That's right, Bennett Horan. He's our producer, he's our writer. He's been spinning a lot of plates, but I think it's turned out brilliantly.
It's mostly about flatmates just realising that an alien invasion is unfolding outside the house, so they slowly start to understand what's going on. They start accusing roommates of being aliens. New people keep coming into their flat, and it's like there's uncertainty about who's an alien, who's not. Why haven't we saved these people from the invasion? I think it's a lot of fun.
So who is the alien?
Well, you'll have to come to the show to find out.
I thought you were going to say that. Does it change every day?
Ooh, well, I think that's another thing you're going to have to show up to find out.
Oh, lots of teasers here, a lot of teasers. It's called If Aliens Attack, I'd Die First. It's Venue 9, the Space at Niddry Street, until the 22nd. It's on at 1:55, and we wish you all the best of luck with it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And I think the sun's trying to come out as well, so let's see who else we can find. We've got more to talk about here, a new comedy play book club by Kate Bromwich. And Kate is here with me now. Kate, tell us about it.
Book Club is a very gentle, lovely comedy. It is about books, but really it's about people. It's about a group of people that might not normally be friends who are thrown together in a social situation. In this case, it's a book club. And you just get to see their human idiosyncrasies, really relatable people, and whether they actually become friends over the course of 5 very wine-fueled book club meetings.
Now, you had an interesting review, haven't you, from the London pub theatres, 4 stars.
Yes.
They say it's honest, it's funny, and it's kind. That's a nice little review.
Yeah, we really like that. We like to think of ourselves as the warm hug. There's so many brilliant things to watch at the Fringe, and they've got a lot of political messaging, a lot of colour, a lot of noise. We like to think of ourselves as that relatable respite where you can come in the afternoon, 12:55, have a bit of a laugh before you go and re-embrace all of the colour of the rest of the Fringe again.
That's right, and it's happening till the 22nd of August as well, at the Space at Surgeons Hall, and one of the actors is here. Your name?
Hi, my name is Elsa.
Hello,
nice
Elsa.
Hi.
How did you get involved in this?
Well, I've known Kate for a long time now, and we're part of the same drama group in London. That's how we became friends, so that was obviously a shared interest in theatre and acting. And then we've actually had a few previous runs of the play, which I was in, and then I was privileged enough to be asked by Kate to be in the cast that we brought to Edinburgh.
What's it like being at the Edinburgh Fringe?
It's brilliant. It's really good. I'm actually, I'm from Scotland. I'm from St Andrews, so just about an hour north of here. So it's been a good opportunity for me personally to come home as well. And it's also been great because I've been able to get lots of friends and family that live here to come and see it, which has made it special. It's been exciting, it's been exhausting, but it's been great being here with a lovely group of people and getting the opportunity to see plays.
Exciting and exhausting. Colin, is it exciting and exhausting?
It is all of those things. It's been a pretty intense.
All of the above.
All of the above. I think every adjective you could possibly think of kind of would fit into the Edinburgh Fringe somehow. But it's been absolutely amazing.
So a quick gear change from book club because Kate tells me there is actually another play you're promoting as well. Tell us about that.
Yes, we've come up as a company with a play play called Long Story Short. It's 4 short plays in one, written by Veronica Montalbetti. They're 4 comedies, something for everyone. There's a talking plant, there's a murder mystery, there's a couple breaking up live on stage, and there's a mum that's written a slightly saucy play, and it's really good fun. It's on at 6:25 p.m. at the Surgeons Hall, also to the 22nd. And yeah, if you're looking for a little light bite where you just want to have quick little bits of theatre, I would definitely recommend it for you.
And that's at venue 53 at Nicholson Street. And there's more people here. The Rough Cut Theatre with their maroon hoodies. And who do we have here?
My name's Helena.
Tell us about this. And what is it? Out Damned Traitor.
So if you're a fan of the Traitors or a fan of Shakespeare, then I think this would be the right play for you. We've basically got a selection of Shakespeare characters. We've got Romeo, Juliet, Richard III, Hamlet, Bottom and Cleopatra all invited Lady Macbeth's castle to play a game of the traitors. But it all starts to spiral out of control when a murder takes place.
Murder.
Yeah.
A real murder.
A real murder.
Yes.
Well, you're playing Richard III. What's your name?
I'm Ruben Fernandez.
That's a great stage name, isn't it? Say that. What is it again?
Ruben Fernandez.
Ruben Fernandez. Fantastic. Is that your real name?
Yes, that is my real
You don't even have to change it to a stage name. Exactly. Stick with that. There's not many of them about. So tell us a bit more about it.
So it's a dark comedy. We've spent the last couple of weeks compiling different genres. So we've got dark comedy. It's a dark comedy, and we play upon themes of corruption and greed, and then just exposure of those two things to the world and bringing them to light. I think it's a lot of fun, and we are from Shakespeare School in Stratford-upon-Avon. Woo! So
I know it very well, being from Oxford, and not too far up the Warwick Road, isn't it?
Yeah.
From many years ago. Now look, you've 2 very talented youngsters. You're doing something really, really constructive.
Yeah, it's honestly been such an amazing experience because we all got to get together, not just as castmates, but as friends. Yes. And it's been like, because we've, over the course of the year, obviously we've had our schoolwork, but every Friday we get together, we do our devising, we work on our script, and just having the opportunity just to sort of express our creativity and to be at the Edinburgh Fringe, such an amazing opportunity has been just incredible.
And Ruben, just finally, what's the future for you after this?
Oh, well, Fringe has been the most inspiring start of my week to my life. Obviously we're here for a week, and honestly I just want to do more, get involved more, just see what you can do and see where it takes you. It's opened so many doors, chatting to new people, meeting new people, seeing shows, making friends along the way. It's perfect.
I think what you're describing is the buzz of the Fringe, and it's very, very real. So it's called Out Damned Traitor. I really like the poster, by the way. Rough Cut Theatre, venue 39 Radisson Blu, which is of course where we're broadcasting from, the space on the Mile, up until the 22nd of August at 12:05. Ruben and Helena, was it?
Helena.
Helena, it was very close. Thank you very much indeed, and the best of luck with it.
Thank you so much. We hope to see lots of people there.
More from my walk along the Royal Mile in the next hour, but next up I meet another Australian comedian, Grace Jarvis.
Bringing the festival to you. Fringe Radio.
Well, my next guest is an Australian comedian called Grace Jarvis. You can see her all the way through to the 30th at the Wee Coo, which is venue 300 at Underbelly, George Square, 5:50 p.m. every afternoon. And she joins me now on the programme. Welcome along.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, tell me, I was looking at some of your YouTube clips recently, and you're a very, very funny lady. When did you start with stand-up?
I started at the end of my first year of university, so 2017. Although, to be fair, I was in Melbourne for the lockdown, so 2 of those years don't count.
Yes, that's true. Tell us a little bit about you then, because anyone who doesn't know who Grace Jarvis is, this is your time now to sell yourself.
I am an Australian stand-up from a New Zealand family. I do a lot of stuff about I talk about having autism, I talk about growing up raised by veterans, a lot of scout stuff. Very autistic things, I suppose, being raised by veterans.
Of course, you're not the only Australian comedian at the Fringe. We've got Eloise Efdos, we've got Annie Boyle as well, quite a few others as well. Do your paths ever cross?
Oh yeah, Australia is big landmass-wise, but small in terms of people. It's honestly great because I see so many of my friends over here, more so than I would have seen them if I was still living at home. You get a kind of concentrated effect of all of the people you want to see but never have time to see because we all have different schedules, turning up and doing the exact same thing every day. So I'd be hard pressed to find an Australian comedian that I don't know at this festival, I think.
And is there a good camaraderie between you all?
I think so, yeah. We're all very supportive of each other. It is a big deal. My first year doing the Fringe was 2023, and that was like I fully came over from the other side of the world and was like, am I going to sit in a room with no people in it for a full month? And so many like Australian acts who are more established over here were so supportive and like really championed me in a way that you don't really expect, or like isn't necessarily, they didn't have to do that. To them, any of us succeeding is a win, which I think is a very beautiful community to be part of.
Now tell me about your autism then, because obviously it's a brave thing to do as a teenager to get into comedy, but with autism as well, it's kind of like even more of a pressure on you, but you've obviously got over those barriers.
I actually didn't get diagnosed with autism until the lockdown, where I was like trying to do relatable bits to everybody about how I was forgetting how to make eye contact. I was like, you guys know how we're all forgetting how to make eye contact? And everyone was like, no. And I was like, oh, okay. Interesting. That seems to have been a skill I was meticulously taught and then practiced my whole life, and I haven't been practicing it, so it's gone. There was so much stuff where, like, when I didn't have to sort of perform normalcy for people every day because I was trapped in my house, I kind of stopped being able to do it. Which led to a psychiatrist getting involved and being like, obviously you have autism. And I'm like, well, I don't know. They seem to have not written down the definition until now. My parents are like, we were exactly like this as children. We just thought that's how children were. It's genetic.
In your set, you address the elephant in the room, if you like, very early on in your set, and it kind of breaks the ice, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And I think we're probably moving slightly away from this, but traditionally I think a lot of it has been you sort of addressing what the audience is thinking about you, or what you think they're thinking about you before you start talking.
Tell us about the name of the show then. It's called Getting Dragged Backwards Through a Hedge, and a lot of comedians have to come up with a title, and they never really quite know what to do, but you've gone for that one. Why?
I learned from my first show that I brought to the Fringe. It was called This Is the Last Goldfish That I'm Going to Eat For You. And well, actually, I think my dad came up with that one. He just thought it would be a good name for a show, and I wrote it down, and then 5 years later, when I needed a name for a show, I put it in the form. And it worked really well because a lot of people just came to see the show because they were like, that's a crazy name. I think several people thought it was a play and then were like, oh, it's stand-up. I was surprised by how, being completely unknown, a lot of people would just go, that's funny, and take a punt. And so I have kind of maintained that as my method. Last year my show was called Just Because I'm Crying Doesn't Mean I'm Not Having a Nice Time. And this year, Getting Dragged Backwards Through a Hedge is also my dad, because he used to say that to me when I was a kid. If I had messy hair where it looked like I was kind of scruffy, he'd be like, you look like you've been dragged backwards through a hedge. Which I was always like, so I have escaped a kidnapping? Seems like you should be pleased. My dad's dad was a prisoner of war in Germany during the Second World War, so my dad has ended up with quite kind of 1920s slang for some reason. He used to also say that I had cloth ears when I wasn't listening. He has quite sort of an old-timey parlance that I have both adopted and find to be quite good material for show names.
Rolling Stone magazine gave you a huge thumbs up, didn't they, last year? And things like that must help you, certainly to promote the show.
Oh yeah, that was so wild. I never expect to be in any of those lists in the lead up to the Fringe where everyone's in the top 10 shows to see at the Fringe. I've never paid for PR, so it's never been someone's job to kind of make sure I'm on one of those lists. It was like working my retail job at the sex shop that I work in, and like got a notification on my phone that was like, you're in Rolling Stone, and I was like, what? So that was like truly crazy. It felt so cool, especially because I hadn't kind of paid someone to go out and venture into those journalistic spaces and ask for me. Someone genuinely just who wrote the article was like, I think that she's good, and I was like, oh my god, that's crazy. It's cool. I get to put that on this year's poster and be like, eh? A legitimate institution believes in me.
Now, I'm going to have to, because people will have heard something you just said there, and they'll expect me to pick up on it, so I will. You worked in the sex shop.
Oh, yeah.
That must have been a source of great material for you.
A lot of material in last year's show, and a little bit in this year's show as well. Yeah, annoyingly, it turns out once you do something for long enough, it becomes so normal that you forget to write it down. I still work there, so I've kind of stopped remembering to write down material from stuff that happens because it's become so everyday. I'm like, this is my job. It is very enjoyable. I think I have a real desire for novelty in that I'm like, well, if I'm going to work retail, I want a job where I never have to have the same conversation twice, you know?
Well, look, Grace, all the best with the Fringe, of course. We'll just repeat again, you're on till the 30th. It's at the Wee Coo Venue 300 at Underbelly, George Square, 5:50 p.m. And thanks very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
I wish I could see you, Jean.
Just be thankful you can't, Robbie. It's been 20 years.
It'll take more than a few grey hairs to spoil your looks.
Well, I've got more than a few grey hairs.
Can I touch you, Jean?
Go on then.
You've put on a wee bit of weight.
So what do you expect?
No, I like it. I like it a lot. Jean, I should have been there to look after you.
Well, you weren't. Look at you. You've hardly changed, but all the tears I've cried should have washed my love away. I tried hating you, but I could never, 'cause I still get a shiver for you.
I was wrong. Please understand. When I was told a child to be was a child of another man, I thought I hated you, but I could never, 'cause I still get a shiver for you.
Tell me you'll stay. Hold me. Don't ever sail away. I can't forgive you for leaving in the first place. Just hold me the way you did in old Edinburgh days. My son is yours. He's got your ways, but I might have opened up my arms and act like you never run away. I tried to shut you out, but I could never, 'cause I still get a shiver for you.
I missed you.
We're plugging the Celtic rock musical Edinburgh Days an awful lot on this show, and rightly so as well. We're trying to actually get Brian Spence in on the programme, the man behind the show, so hopefully that will happen by the end of our run. But now it's time to join Simon Walton, who's been chatting with Julia Bregeron about the French presence at this year's Fringe.
Bringing the festival to you. Fringe Radio.
I'm in the French Institute on George IV Bridge, and I'm with Julia Bregeron, who is the Communications Director for the French Institute here in Edinburgh. And you may not be aware, but there are a number of French productions here at the festival. In fact, there are always French productions here at the festival. This is the 16th year of Vive le Festival, Vive le Fringe. It's very much physical theatre with puppets and dance this year. Is that always the case?
No, I would say it's a special case for this year. We tend to have different kind of performance. We enjoy having theater, music, dance. But last year, for example, we had also an exhibition and something which was more like an immersive experience. So yeah, we are very open to very different kind of performance. Like the rule would be whether having French or Francophone companies, or they would have to be Francophile. So the show would have a link in a way to France or French language.
Well, you showcased three of the performing artists that are here this year in Edinburgh. The first of which was, a puppet-based show. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
We have Don't Wait For Me, which is a puppetry show for kids aged 4 and up, but it's also meant for adults because the themes evoked are quite powerful, universal. It's about loss, hope, belonging, and finding a place which feels like home. So yeah, we are very happy to have this show this year, and we already had puppetry shows in the past.
You also have quite a striking dance performance called Bigger.
Yes, so Bigger is a dance show by Sofiane Chalal. It's a blending of hip-hop, contemporary dance and mime. And yeah, it's a very powerful and emotional show. It's about body image, how other people perceive you and how you look at yourself. And yeah, it's a great show to understand that dance is for everyone and everybody, and yeah, I think the message behind it is very positive.
And finally, you showed us some remarkable virtuoso work on the violin and the football. These are not two things that we see on stage together very often.
No, yes, we really like, we look forward to see this show. It looks amazing, and it's very Fringe to have something unusual and surprising. So yeah, we look forward to see it. And
we've seen some video presentation of virtuoso performance on the violin and remarkable acrobatics with footballs. You know, the performers are both remarkable.
Yeah, and actually they play together. I think at some point the violinist tries to play the ball as well. So there's really a dialogue between the two disciplines, freestyle football and violin. So yeah, I think it's going to be interesting whether you're fond of music or interested by football. So yeah, it's going to be very funny.
And finally, Julia, I should point out that you don't need to speak French because many of the performances are multilingual. Some of them, not based on language at all. The universal languages of acrobatics, of music, of dance, and even the puppets are bilingual.
Yeah, exactly. The puppets. So she performs all over the world, and every time she tries to include a bit of the local language. So she told us that when she was in South Korea, she tried to include a bit of words. So she learned herself the language locally. But yeah, in this case, for the Fringe, it's a mix of French and English. And whenever it's French, it can be written subtitled. It's not really necessary to understand everything which is said, because in the context you understand what's going on, because it's very evident and emotional, and it's a lot about of the corporal, what is transmitted by gestures and the design setting. So yeah, I think it's very universal.
Well, Julia, thank you very much indeed for your time. I'll just point out that these are just 3 of the acts that are performing here at the Institut Français on George IV Bridge. There's a full programme here throughout the Fringe, so anytime that you do come along, you will find something here. I'll say à bientôt for now, and back to the studio.
Thank you very much. À bientôt.
Bringing the festival to you, Fringe Radio.
Well, I had the great pleasure of seeing the show Exit, featuring 4 incredible acrobats. It was a lesson in stamina, precision, and of course acrobatics, which went on for a whole hour. And you can see it daily at 10:30 at the main house, Venue 82. And 3 members from Exit are with me now. We've got Harrison, who's from Guildford in Surrey. We've got Samuel from Switzerland, and we have Luke from the Netherlands. Now, guys, I was blown away this morning. I've never seen anything quite like this. Precision and stamina and choreography, which is just out of this world. And I'll start with you, Harrison, because it was the opening. It couldn't have gone better.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. I mean, the audience was phenomenal, and getting a standing ovation from the get-go was a nice little boost for us boys.
And Samuel, tell us, for those who have not got a clue what's going on and what the show's about, just try and put that into words, because I found it very difficult to describe.
All right, so it's 4 men going on with their life on a big set, on a big scenography with a lot of doors. We are starting from 4 individuals, and then we come together, we merge into a group, and then we end our show with individual paths again.
And it is quite extraordinary. I mean, it's hard to imagine, but the good thing about all your press releases is that you have a link to a video, which you've done, a very short video, which kind of explains it. And it is such a good video that I recommend everyone have a quick look at it just to see what it is that they're going to get, because that's just a little sample of the hour. The hour is just absolutely amazing. But such discipline. How do you prepare for something like this?
Well, we're all trained acrobats and dancers. We all did a bachelor's or a course in either dance or circus. Piet van Dijken, the choreographer of the piece, just got us together, and we created the piece in about 5 weeks, which was quite short and very intense to know the choreography, to trust each other, because we need to trust each other a lot. And then since then we've performed the piece over 300 times already, so now it's really in the body, and that's really nice.
What was it like right at the beginning? I mean, the opening night, the first time you ever did it together, because it is so intense. You mentioned choreography. Choreography doesn't really cover it, does it? Because it's a 1 hour piece with no breaks. The stamina, the professionalism, the fact that you have to be in the right place at the right time throughout the hour is just the most extraordinary thing I've never seen. So, I mean, just calling it, we had a choreographer in and taught us, doesn't really cover it, does it?
I actually came as the second batch of boys to the collogue, and these guys were the OGs, as we would say, the originals. But yeah, it really is a collaborative making of the work, and also, yeah, like exactly what you said, to echo it, is that it's serious precision and playfulness as well. Like, as much as you would think everything is very fixed, there's a lot of room for making it a bit spicy each day. But yeah, it is a lot of trust, because obviously if you're not in the right place, you miss one step or you forget something, it could end in a catastrophe.
Samuel, tell us about the actual set itself with the doors. They kind of move, they swing, they do all sorts of things, and it's just hard to describe. You've just got to go and see this video first of all, and then turn up and be amazed at this show. But it is an extraordinary piece of engineering, isn't it?
Yeah, so it looks like an apartment building, a couple of doors and grey, and it doesn't look like a lot in the beginning. And then throughout the piece, the set is evolving and is changing. And we can see a revolving door or revolving wall of 4 meters or something, which we use in an acrobatic manner, and we use the whole set acrobatically.
What about the stamina that you need for this? I mean, you have to be absolutely superhuman to just get on stage and put yourself through that for a whole hour.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, now it was the first one again after we had quite a break. And then the few moments that we are backstage, I'm really catching my breath, trying to get the energy again. Because it is very physical, we keep on lifting each other, jumping up and down. But also it's the part that we really enjoy doing. It's nice to be this physical and feel the body, like feel the performance is in the body. It's both very exhausting and very enjoyable at the same time.
But no breaks at all. I mean, you're literally in view for the whole hour. I mean, I just find that extraordinary.
Yeah, it's we have mini pauses. It's like mostly costume changes.
But that's the other thing. I mean, you're changing costumes all the time as well. Not only have you got the choreography to think about, you're changing clothes.
Multiple changes. Lots of like sneaky ways to throw on and on the tops and the jackets. Like you can kind of whip it around you so that your arms go through really quick.
And it's interesting because I didn't notice the clothes changing until about 20 minutes into the set. And I thought, oh, hang on, he was wearing something else earlier on. You don't see the change. It's all done behind the scenes. But again, you know, you're having to slot in at the right place, haven't you?
Yeah, it's really part of the choreography as well, these costume changes. We know exactly when it's happening. We have like a second and a half or 2 seconds to do it, and then back on the stage, and people don't see it.
So Luke, what attracted you to this show in the first place? Because this is next level, isn't it?
I really enjoyed to work in a collective and to feel the trust that we have within the team. And apart from that, I find it very inspiring to work with a scenography like the one that we have, because it's an extension of the body. It allows the body to move in different ways than you would do without it. So I really enjoy the research that went into creating the piece of, okay, we have this scenography, what is possible with it? And yeah, do a lot of acrobatics and fun stuff on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly fun once you know what you're doing, etc. But in the early days, I would imagine it was pretty daunting.
It's just a playground.
It is a playground, yeah. Yeah. I mean, also some fun accidents can happen, and you know, it's how you bounce back a lot of the time. And sometimes we look at each other and we're like, "Ooh, that was interesting."
But Samuel, there's balance involved as well. I mean, on the top, without giving anything away, I mean, right at the top when the doors swing round level, you've got all 4 guys on it in different places. Mm-hmm. Not only that, but on the shoulders of others as well. I mean, it shouldn't be happening. How are you doing this?
Well, we played around, we researched with what was possible with this set, and every time we took it a bit further and faster and scarier. And now we are just playing around. We know what is happening, so we are also, the safety is back. We are not really taking a risk, although we have to be on point. We have to be in the right place in the right moment. But when we are there, things are safe.
So Harrison, what's the history of the actual company itself? You know, Exit, the company.
Ooh, that's actually a good question. I know that Pete, he studied at Fontis, right? And he has a dance background, but was massively interested in working with circus artists, and in a way that they maybe make contemporary circus in not a traditional kind of sense, which is more in a movement way and abstracting and using different elements. He's big on set, big on choreo and counts and musicality.
Yeah, so I think it was founded in 2021.
Oh, so it's fairly recent then.
Yeah, by Piet van Dijken, the choreographer. In his work, he works a lot with the combination of dance and circus, and he wants to blend the two. And usually he works with a scenographical element. So he now made 3 different performances with the company. Exit Glorious Bodies, where he's working with acrobats that are a bit older already, so that are around 50 or 60 years old, and to see what the body is still capable of at that age. And then his most recent piece is Beyond, where he works with a lot of ladders that also transform into a scenographical element to kind of move beyond the border of the stage to really use the whole space.
And one thing I must mention is the music, which is really, really good. And presumably you're feeding off the cues on the music all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was composed by Bastian Benjamins, specifically for the piece. So the whole soundtrack was made at the same time that we were creating the choreography. So it was bouncing off each other. We were making some little sequences, and then the music was created for it, and then we would adapt the sequences to the music and the other way around. So yeah, the two creation processes were simultaneous.
And Harrison, it's a 10:30 a.m. show.
Yeah.
Is that a surprise for you, or did you particularly want it at that time?
You know, it's there's two sides of the sword with it, isn't it? It's like when you do it this early, you have the rest of your day to yourself, which is kind of lovely. We have a great opportunity of being able to go see shows, whereas other people, you know, if you're performing later, it's difficult to be able to offer yourself to go and see other things because you want to stay focused and locked into what you're doing and maybe do some pre-show preparation. So although it's early, it's kind of great for us. And, you know, it's kind of that perfect point of where your energy's starting to peak. So it's great. And if you can convince people to come at 10:30 to see some circus, then I think it's also a good shout on how good our show is.
Yeah. The opening show was well supported. It was, so word has already got round. And this is your first Fringe, isn't it?
Yeah. First Fringe with the company, yeah. I came a couple of years back with another show, yeah.
Harrison and Samuel and Luke, and regards to the other in the crew as well. Absolutely blown away by the show. Congratulations, and let's hope everyone comes and sees it and you have this big sellout run.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, as I said, I was totally blown away by the whole thing. It's called Exit. It's at Venue 82, which is Main House, Zoo, South Side, and it's 10:30am every day until August the 30th, with the exception of the 24th. After the break, my special guest is Smack the Pony's Fiona Allen, whose new show, White Lies, is currently on at the Fringe.
Bringing the festival to you. Fringe Radio.
One story, two people. Amanda Crowley and Thomas Duncan. One lawyer, one mass murderer. The case is lost. She wants it anyways. Not to win, but to understand how monsters are made. Glimpse behind the societal masks, as with Monster Made, an intense character study, a captivating, psychological, intimate play is coming to the Fringe at Paradise in the Vault. Only the one who can change his mind can actually change something. Monster Made runs from August 24th to August 30th. Book your seats today at edfringe.com.
What is the most powerful force in the universe? This August, magician and physicist Kevin Quantum brings an all-new Fringe show to Edinburgh. Invisible Force. Expect brand new magic inventions, impossible moments you'll never have seen before, and astonishing illusions where science and mystery collide. Electricity crackles, reality bends, and you'll leave questioning what's actually possible. Funny, surprising, and unlike anything else at the Fringe. Search Quantum at edfringe.com and discover Kevin Quantum, Invisible Force.
This August, discover the best comedy, cabaret, kids shows and more at the Free Festival. With over 360 daily shows, there's something for everybody, at a price for everyone. Donate what you think the show's worth at the end, or book Pay What You Can tickets to keep the Fringe accessible for everyone. The Free Festival, the real spirit of the Edinburgh Fringe. Full programme at freefestival.co.uk.
Bringing the festival to you. Fringe Radio.
Well, I'm delighted that Fiona Allen is my next guest on Fringe Radio, and plenty to talk about with her. Star of Channel 4's Smack the Pony, of course, and appearing in her own solo show called White Lies at the Dining Room, Gilded Balloon Teviot, until the 29th of August, except for the 17th. Fiona, welcome to the programme.
Hello, thank you for having me on.
Now, this is only your second solo show at the Fringe, I think, isn't it? But by all accounts, going really well.
It is my second one, yeah. And I did the first one only because somebody said, I'd started to do stand-up and somebody said, oh, I presume you're going to the Fringe. And I said, oh, is that what I'm supposed to do? And they said, yeah. I went, oh, all right then. So I just wrote a show. And that's how I went to the first one. But I really enjoyed it. And so I've got another one written. So there you go. Here I am doing my second show and I'm really enjoying it. It's different than the first one. But I think, you kind of find your feet a little bit when you go up and do something. And then this one's different in a sense that the other one was more, I had a lot of my club stand up in it. This one's more of a show, whereas, it's set in one day, and it starts from the minute I wake up in the morning till the very last, end of the day. So, and it's everything in between. And it's a funny little story, and it's very simple. I'm trying to find a white lie that doesn't upset the balance of the neighbourhood, so that I don't go to a neighbourhood party because I can't tolerate them anymore. And the day just throws loads of stuff at me, and I'm really busy, including kids, dog, house stuff.
Observation comedy is something which the crowd really enjoy, don't they? Because they can totally relate to what you're talking about.
I think so. And I think with my show, because it starts from waking up in the morning, like lots of people do, that slight feeling of dread when you've got to do something you might not want to do. And then you've just got to get on with the day. And if you've got a family and there's kids and there's a dog and, your husband and everything else, and you've got to go to town, and it's all those things that get in the way of us actually having, to be able to just do something calmly. And all the way through this day, I'm thinking about trying to come up with this white lie. And I'm running out of time. And this is the problem. And so I have lovely little characters on the way to help me along the way, like my mum, my Spanish mum. She rings up and has a chat to me, and it eventually ends at the very end of the day, but I'm not going to tell you what happens, obviously, because I'll give it away. And I just really enjoy it. I do characters of the neighbours, and it's a story, beginning, middle and end, so you can just go with it, if you know what I mean. I do sort of go off onto tangents slightly, but I always come back to the story. So I think this is a very different show than my first show. I really like it, and I'll see what I feel like at the end of it, because I might end up touring this one, I think.
That's interesting, because there's a real fascination, obviously, for the Fringe for a lot of people, and you. And what I'm finding from talking to a lot of people who are performing at the Fringe is that it's given them the bug to tour.
Yeah, and then I tried it out last time with my first show, so I know what that's like, and I really enjoyed it. But then, I do like going to lots of different places and meeting lots of different people. And when I'm doing just normal stand-up, that's what happens anyway. And I really do enjoy that. So I know what I'm getting into, and I think, and also it's only my second show. Probably smaller places like art centres and theatres, and completely suits me where I'm at. And I think if I do that, obviously I'll wait and see what my promoter says, but I think he'd quite like me to, maybe. And I'll, I look forward to that. It'd be fabulous.
Now, you've done so many things in your career so far, covering a wide range of subjects, from soaps, obviously, game shows. What gives you the most kind of satisfaction in your career? What, if you had to drop all of them apart from one, which one would it be?
I don't think I could drop any of it, because I feel like each thing is different, and each thing I really enjoy. I've just done, but it's not out yet. I've just been filming The Good Ship Murder. I'm the new captain of the ship, and that's a whodunit, detective thing, and I'm not part of that. I'm the captain of the ship, but that was absolutely fabulous. And I ended up on a cruise ship for 2 weeks, and it was all filmed, going around the Med, and then before that was in Malta, and I really, really enjoyed doing it. It was really, really good fun. But then, give me loads of sketches. Absolutely, I love that. I think that's my favourite, comedy characters in that way. I think I absolutely love doing that. But I do enjoy lots of the other things that I do as well. So it'd be hard to drop one, because, like I say, they've all got their own reason for me to want to do it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and they're all connected in a way, aren't they? Because, there's certain comics who that's all they do. They just do stand-up, and you've got all these other things, and it keeps it all fresh, I suppose.
Well, it does, but we'll put it this way, I never get bored. Each day, and if I'm doing stand-up, for example, I look on a Monday usually, I go, where am I going to be this week? And I look at it that way, and I go all over the place. And, each job, and it's like that with being an actress, you don't know where your next job's coming from, unless you're in a series and you're going to do another series. You don't really know when your next job's coming, and some people find that quite a difficult thing, and that's absolutely fine, because we're all different. We don't all live our lives in that way. But I like the fact that I don't know what I'm going to be doing next, exactly what I'm going to be doing next. I like to the idea of something comes up and go, oh, I didn't know I'd be doing this. I didn't even think of this. This is great. And it keeps everything interesting. And it probably drive people bonkers living like that, but I kind of, it's just how I am, you know, and it really suits me.
You're obviously a very driven person. I mean, was this always a dream for you as a little girl, that you wanted to be, you know, centre of everyone's universe, doing acting or you're doing television or whatever? Were you like that as a kid?
I think so. When I look back, I think I was always trying to make people laugh, and I was the one trying to do that, you know, not the people around me. And I think it was like, I just used to enjoy listening to people laughing. I think so, because it's a lovely thing. And I remember, I think I was probably about 7, around that age, and I actually thought I wanted to be a singer. And I was listening to the radio, and there were amazing people, you know, singing. And I remember thinking, oh, I can't sing like that. I never actually told anybody. Like, I remember sitting there like it was yesterday thinking, well, okay. And as it happens, by the way, I can sing. Not sort of power ballad singing, but I can sing. But at the time, you know, at that age, you don't realise. And I thought, oh, I can, but I'm a bit quiet. What else can I do? And I thought, I know, I'll be an actress. And then I never thought about it again until I was probably a young teenager. And yeah, it was still there. Yep, still, that was what I was going to do. And just carried on quietly. And I didn't even really say anything to any of my friends. At school, I was still the one who was the jokey one, and I was the one doing silly characters and voices and messing around, and all the time. Never thought anything about what I would do with that. You know, it was in my brain, oh, you're going to be an actress. I never thought anything of it. And I ended up, actually, that's another job I have, is voiceovers. I do loads and loads of voiceovers, but nobody told me that was a job at my school. And so I kind of stumbled across that. It was somebody saying, oh, you should do that. And I've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. And so, yeah, and then eventually I went to do 2 years at drama in Salford, Manchester. And I remember one of my friends saying, I didn't know you wanted to do that. Because I actually knew myself, but I hadn't really said anything to anybody. Not that I was keeping a secret, I just didn't think anything of it. It was like, that's what I was going to do. And then I moved out of the north. I went down to the south. And then ever since then, I've worked, had a family, done my voiceovers, decided to do stand-up. I did a few open spots when I was first moved to London, but I got a job acting quite quickly, and that took over really. And so the stand-up, I only actually started probably, it was a year before the pandemic. And I went around all the comedy clubs on the circuit doing 5 minutes and 10 minutes, and people were going, what on earth are you doing? What are you doing? And I said, I'm learning. I'm just learning. And that's what I did with all the newbies. I just went round and tried to learn. And then I thought, right, okay, what do I feel like? Do I like it? Yeah, I like it. Okay, I'm going to do some more. And then there was a pandemic, and I thought, oh no, that's a sign. But actually, I came out of that, carried on, came to Edinburgh, and you know, and that's where we're at. So I've not been really doing it for that long in the great scheme of things, but I do really love it, and I love coming to Edinburgh. And I've started to know where I'm going a little bit. And I woke up the other morning, and I thought, oh, I know what I need to do. I need to go shopping. So I went straight down into town. I knew exactly where I was going. Had a really nice time. Came back, made myself something to eat. Because my show's at 6, so that's really good, because it means I get the day, if you know what I mean, to sort of pootle around and stuff. So I've got friends who live here as well now. I think it's one of those things that I stumbled into, wasn't a plan, but it's the best stumbled into not a plan that I've done. It's really fun. It's good, and I think the thing as well, and I think it's not like I've purposely set out to do this. I think it's my brain doing it. It's just that there's so much angst in the world and terrible wars and all these crazy things going on that I don't want anything difficult. I don't want anything dark. I don't want anything that's, you know, disturbing. And I've written a very light-hearted, good fun, relatable, observational show just about, you know, people and how we all live and how we're all similar. And I think everybody I've told that to, they've said to me, oh, I know exactly what you mean. That's what people keep saying to me. I know exactly what you mean. So I think people get it, and it is fun. People have had nice things to say about it. So I'm very happy about that.
And no doubt when they meet you afterwards, the 3 words "smack the pony" come up, and
it does a lot.
They're going to come up on this programme now as well. How did you get involved with that, and did you ever think this was going to be such a big thing?
Well, yeah, I got involved in it with the producers were looking to do something, and I got asked to come and talk to them, and they'd probably seen me because I'd done. I think Joe Brand was doing a show, and I used to play the characters in the background, doing different accents or whatever. And then I think when Channel 5 opened, they did a sketch show called We Know Where You Live, and I was part of that. It was a male-female sketch show. And so I had I'd been doing that anyway, alongside lots of soaps and things, and then dramas as well. I was doing lots of dramas. For me, I thought it was good because it was my sensibility and I really liked it. But did I know that it was going to be that massive? No, hadn't got a clue. I'm really, really happy about that, by the way. I absolutely love that it did so well, and worldwide as well. And people still love it and people watch it. And there's a fashion magazine called Marfa. It's all online, but they had made a book, and it was a hard copy, and they put a picture of us and did a photo shoot with us. The Smack the Pony, meets Alan Doon on the front, and we went to do a book signing for it at this beautiful little bookshop behind Liberty, I think, in London. It was extraordinary because the whole place was packed out with people, all like 20-somethings. There's a new, and maybe 30. I think there was one person our age, and that's because they brought their daughter. New people watch it as well now. So I think that's really lovely.
And is it coming back?
2 things. We came up to Edinburgh last year to do a Smack the Pony live because we wanted to know if our sketches would work live, because we shot everything on location, and we also don't do catchphrases. So, every single thing's a brand new setup, and we've got different wigs, and they were good ones as well, like expensive ones you had to put on properly, and all clothing changes. And I was like, I don't know how it's going to work live. That's what we came to test. And we also were interviewed by Kirsty Walk, fabulous Kirsty, and it did. It worked really, really well because I play an assassin. I remember writing this video date as an assassin. I was sat in a flowery jumpsuit and it worked. So therefore, that made us think, well, this would be fabulous to do a live show, and that's what we'd really like to do. And also, I think, I'm not sure, we probably maybe doing a special maybe next year. We're having a few chats at the moment about that, a TV thing, so we'll see what happens with that as well.
Well, it's certainly not a dull moment in your life, is it? Plenty going on, that's for sure. And of course, it's called White Lies. It's at the Dining Room, Gilded Balloon, Tiviot, until the 29th of August, except for the 17th, of course. They do allow you a day off, and it's 6 o'clock every night, which is a nice slot as well. Fiona, thanks very much indeed for joining us.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Fiona Allen talking to me earlier. And next up, part 2 of my walk up the Royal Mile.
Bringing the festival to you, Fringe Radio.
I cannot believe he asked me to do OnlyFans.
Hold on, let's talk about this.
There's nothing to talk about.
We're always complaining about money.
Then get another job. I am not selling my body. I'm listening to me now. I'm good at this.
15 Minutes of Shame, from the 7th to the 30th of August at 7:20 at Playground 2 at Zoo Playground. Tickets at edfringe.com.
I want to tell you a true story. Many years ago, a humble young musical comedian was approached by some radio producers and asked if he might contribute one of his comedy voices to a new segment for their network's most popular show. For many years, this young man delighted in answering questions from people all over the world and bringing a little simple joy to his troubled land, while all the time, nobody knew who he really was. But now his story can finally be told. Mitch Ben is Asking Elvis, coming soon to a theater near you. Thank you very much.
This August, discover the best comedy, cabaret, kids shows and more at the Free Festival. With over 360 daily shows, there's something for everybody at a price for everyone. Donate what you think the show's worth at the end, or book pay what you can tickets to keep the Fringe accessible for everyone. The Free Festival, the real spirit of the Edinburgh Fringe. Full programme at freefestival.co.uk.
One story, two people. Amanda Crowley and Thomas Duncan. One lawyer, one mass murderer. The case is lost. She wants it anyways. Not to win, but to understand how monsters are made. Glimpse behind the societal masks, as with Monster Made, an intense character study, a captivating, psychological, intimate play is coming to the Fringe at Paradise in the Vault. Only the one who can change his mind can actually change something. Monster Made runs from August 24th to August 30th. Book your seats today at edfringe.com.
Florence Nightingale, you've heard of her, but have you heard of Betsy Cadwallader, the globe-trotting, fearless, feisty Welshwoman who defied Miss Nightingale to become one of the first frontline war nurses at the age of 65? Her Story Theatre Company from Newport, South Wales brings Betsy to Edinburgh Festival Fringe, a heartwarming, funny and inventive two-woman play that restores a forgotten Welsh working-class heroine to her rightful place in history. Catch it at the Space at Surgeons Hall, 24th to 29th of August at 1:45pm. Suitable for children over 12. Tickets available from the Space box office.
Bringing the festival to you, Fringe Radio.
Well, it's always nice to come up to the Royal Mile, especially when the rain's beginning to stop now, and look at new plays which are already starting. One that's just started recently, going on to the 22nd at Venue 53, Nicholson Street. The Space at Surgeons Hall is Grief Encounters. We've got Isabel and we've got Rob with me. Isabel, tell us about Grief Encounters.
Hiya. So Grief Encounters is about my dad, really. It's a road trip my brothers and I took through France. It's a very silly, fast-paced piece, but also full of tender, heartfelt moments. And it's 2-for-1 tickets today, actually, but we sold out yesterday. So yeah, doing very well.
Well, that's good. Selling out in your first go.
I know. Yeah, it was my second show, and I was very, very happy with that. I was very happy.
So, what pre-promotion have you done to attract the people?
I've been sharing lots of stuff on Instagram about grief and about the different aspects of it, and obviously how joy and grief can coexist at the same time. And losing a parent quite young as well, it can be a very, very isolating experience. So sharing stuff about that, and then otherwise just sort of silly, quirky stuff really about the show.
And that's interesting, Rob, because we've come across various plays that have, quite a serious theme to it, but people have found comedy in it.
Yeah, it's very important. I mean, handling such important topics such as grief or death and things like that, sometimes it can be a bit heavy, so putting a layer of comedy on top of that can really sort of helps bring people in, and it makes it a bit more enjoyable.
And your first one, very well attended. What was the reaction afterwards?
Well, there was a standing ovation, which Great. I was very proud to get, and we hope we can get more of that this week.
Well, let's hope so, because you're on to the 22nd. It's venue 53 at the Space at Surgeons Hall, and it's 2:10 every day. Very best of luck with it.
Thank you so much.
Gabby is up next. Now, she's part of Sweet Nothings, who present What's a Hen to Do at Venue 9, which is in Niddry Street, the Space at Niddry Street, 3:50 every day until the 22nd. Gabby, tell us about it.
Yeah, so we're an a cappella group from the University of Exeter.
Another one.
Yeah, I know. The Southwest loves to make a showing. And our show is a musical, so it's got a script, it's got songs, it's got dancing, and it's all about one girl's hen do who goes catastrophically wrong. We end up lost in the woods, all sorts of nonsense goes down, and then it has quite a wholesome ending, I think. So
wholesome ending.
A wholesome ending.
Something to look forward to.
Yes, absolutely. But no spoilers.
No spoilers. No, we don't want spoilers. Now, there seems quite a big cast there.
So there's 12 of us here at the Fringe this year, which is enough for all the parts and enough for all the choreo to look good, but it's a really good group of girls and we have a really good time performing together, so it's just the best time of our lives.
Fantastic. And tell me about Sweet Nothings.
So the Sweet Nothings is an a cappella group from Exeter that's been running for about 20 years now. Obviously we've not been in it for the whole time, but we are a competitive group, so we compete throughout the year, we do various performances, and the Fringe is kind of our big end of year. We go on holiday together, we put on this show, and we're all girls, and it's just a really nice little group of sisters, really. Not all of us are actually sisters, but
A sisterhood.
Yes, a sisterhood.
Well, it's Venue 9, Niddry Street at the Space, and it's 3:50 every day until the 22nd. Best of luck, Gabby.
Thank you so much.
Becca, the assistant stage manager of Nocturnal is the New Sexy, is here with me right now, and you're on till the 22nd at venue 39 at the Space on the Mile. Tell us about this.
So it's a show written by our director, and she works night shifts in the NHS in the call centres, and basically wrote a play about her experience, and the two main characters, one works day shifts, one works night shifts, and it's about how they're trying to navigate their relationship and like stay in love, and like it obviously gets a bit tricky, and they have like there's 4 members of the ensemble that play different characters within their world, and we have each like set changes sort of like a dance, and I'm biased, but I think it's epic. You should definitely come and see it.
Assistant stage manager Becca did very well there to set it up, but you wrote it.
Yes.
Tell us why you wrote this play, Nocturnal is the New Sexy.
So I've just graduated from uni, so I do uni during the day and then I work night shifts in a hospital at night in the bank staff for children.
How did you find time to write a play?
It's a good question. It was a lot of like late nights, early mornings, and a lot of it I actually wrote like coming off a night shift where I was actually exhausted, and some of the monologues I've actually left a little bit unedited just so it's kind of like how I was feeling in that moment, and then I've had the best time making it with all my friends from uni. It's a comedy, and yeah, I just wanted to try and find a way to put into words and put onto a play of like what that level of tired feels like. I don't think unless you've kind of worked throughout the night, it's a whole new level of tired. It's not fixed with a nap. It's it's quite a long-lasting thing.
Well,
so I just tried to
like
write about that.
For a subject like that, you are the person to actually write something like this. And there's music involved as well. Oliver Webb. Tell me about Oliver.
Yeah, Oliver Webb.
Oh, Oliver, here he comes. Look, they're all coming. It's like a magnet, this microphone. Oliver.
Hello.
We've just been talking to Esme and also to your lovely assistant stage manager, Becca. And your name's come up because you did the music for this. Original music.
It is original music. It took quite a while to write. Esme wanted a very specific vibe for it. So it's all very electronic, very trance-like, tired, kind of eerie, lots of alarm clocks all over the place. A bit crazy.
And is this your first Fringe as a company? Because it's Glass Scorpion Productions.
Yeah, so Glass Scorpion, was made this year. Quite a few of us were here last year with a play about feet, which was on also in the space. And then we've kind of taken some of our members from a play about feet to make Glass Scorpion Theatre. So this is the company's debut show.
Now, I said really glass, exciting. But it's kind of Glas, isn't it? Glasgow?
Glass, Welsh. It's a Welsh spelling for blue. It's a Welsh word for blue. Yeah.
Do you know, it's not the first time I've been learning Welsh.
Because everyone always thinks that we've made a mistake and we're saying glass, and we spelt it with missing an S, but we haven't. It's glasses in blue, and then, scorpion.
So very educational talking to you as well. Venue 39, Radisson Blu, just round the corner from our studio in the boardroom. The Space on the Mile, 1:30 every day until the 22nd. And we wish you all the best with it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Oliver.
Thank you. Take care.
By the way, just before you go, is this a sort of a career in kind of directing and film and music and stuff for you?
Yeah, I would love to go. So I'm a student at the moment. I'm studying music and theatre, and I would love to go into composing for theatre, composing for film. And in fact, we have just released the music from this very show, Nocturnal is the New Sexy, on all streaming platforms today. So go listen.
Well, we're going to play it on the radio then. Which track would you like? Yeah, well, I'll put you on the spot
you
now.
have me on the spot.
Day-night for the show.
Day/night. It's called by Oliver Webb. Nocturnal is the New Sexy is the album.
And if you like what you're going to hear very shortly, you can download it on all digital platforms. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Well, here's another new play, and this one's no ordinary play. It's a 5-star one. It's got a great review, a true hidden gem of this year's Fringe, a family storytelling show with music, puppetry and audience interaction, and it's called The Battle of Frogs and Mice. And Nicola is here, not Nicola, this is Nicola. Tell me about this particular production.
Yeah, so like you said, it's a family storytelling show, but it's aimed at all the family. So it's originally an ancient Greek myth. So it's based on like the Iliad, but for families. And there are all sorts of things in the show to keep everyone entertained. You can throw ping pong balls at us. We've got a live musician. We've got puppetry. You can see
there's a puppet, there's a frog, funnily enough.
Yes, so we've got
no mice. I can't see any mice there.
I'm a frog today, but in the show I'm a mouse. We've got leaping competitions, squeaking competitions, all sorts of things happening.
Sounds great fun, and a 5-star review as well. You'll enjoy that.
Yeah, definitely. We're really, really proud, and we've been having such a fun time.
It's 2:15 all the way through to Saturday the 22nd of August, and it's at Zoo Southside, which is on Nicholson Road, I think, isn't it? Yes. Well, go along and see it. It's 5 stars. What more can we say?
Thank you so much. Come and see our show.
Find a girl and build a homestone, so my father said to me. But the winds, they bear me onwards, and they call me to the sea. Not for me the plough and furrow, not for me the feather bed, not for me the farmer's daughter. To the waves my heart is wed. If it's down together. If it's up as one. So sail on, boys, through stormy weather. Soon the journey will be done. Lift your hearts to the horizon. Leave your fears upon the shore. This one life is for the living, and we ask for nothing more. If it's down together. If it's up as one. So sail on, boys, through stormy weather. Soon the journey will be done. If it's down together. If it's up as one. So sail on, boys, through stormy weather. Soon the journey will be done. If it's down together. If it's up as one. So sail on, boys, through stormy weather. Soon the journey will be done.
Well, that was recorded yesterday during my Royal Mile walk. Show choir live outside the Space Surgeons Hall on the pavement, buses going by, lots of traffic, but what a terrific sound they make. And before that, today's visit to the Royal Mile. Well, after the break, Stuart McFarlane will be talking to the man behind Toe Poke.
Bringing the festival to you, Fringe Radio.
Two sisters. One man. A history neither of them fully understands. Becca, a painter, moves into architect Charlie's flat, and the two quickly form a bond far deeper than either expected. But when miscommunication leaves their relationship unresolved, Becca's older sister Emily returns from traveling and unexpectedly falls for Charlie, unaware of everything that came before. As feelings collide and buried truths begin to surface, three lives become dangerously intertwined. A story of love, timing, sisterhood, and what happens when nobody says what they really mean. Almost everything is on at Bra Venues. Grand Lodge Venue 7 at 12 noon every day until August the 30th, except for the 26th. Tickets from edfringe.com.
We're here at the Radisson Blu Hotel, Edinburgh city centre, where the beds are comfy, the breakfasts are legendary, and the Fringe is literally downstairs. Home to the space on the mile, you'll find 7 theatres buzzing with performances all day, every day. So if you're looking for the perfect base for the festival, you've just found it.
Florence Nightingale. You've heard of her, but have you heard of Betsy Cadwallader? The globe-trotting, fearless, feisty Welshwoman who defied Miss Nightingale to become one of the first frontline war nurses at the age of 65. Her story theatre company from Newport, South Wales brings Betsy to Edinburgh Festival Fringe, a heartwarming, funny and inventive 2-woman play that restores a forgotten Welsh working-class heroine to her rightful place in history. Catch it at the Space at Surgeons Hall, 24th to 29th of August at 1:45pm. Suitable for children over 12. Tickets available from the Space box office.
Print it, copy it at the copyandprintshop.com.
Your printing is made easy at the Copy and Print Shop. We specialise in rapid printing services, leaflets, posters, brochures, banners, business cards and more. Collect your order at our Glasgow print shop or have it delivered wherever you are. Find out more at thecopyandprintshop.com.
Print it, copy it at the copyandprintshop.com.
Black Blues Brothers, Let's Twist Again. Fringe favourites, the Black Blues Brothers are back. Expect a rock and roll jukebox, a train station and lots of acrobatics. Every day from August 5th to August 31st at 5pm at McEwen Hall, Bristow Square. Tickets available at edfringe.com.
Bringing the festival to you, Fringe Radio.
Now, during the 1982 Football World Cup match in Seville between Scotland and Brazil, Scotland's right-back David Narey scored a brilliant, memorable opening goal. In the BBC commentary box that day, Jimmy Hill, and at the time, one of the most famous football faces on television. Hill infamously dismissed the strike on television as just a toe poke. Well, the 50-minute play imagines a fictional, humorous reconciliation between Narey and Hill in a Paris cafe during the 1998 World Cup, mediated by broadcaster Archie Macpherson. Well, backstage, Stuart McFarlane met up with the self-confessed Ipswich Town fan and writer of Toe Poke, James Lohman.
James, lovely to meet you.
Great to meet you, teacher.
Well done, super run.
Oh, thank you. No, it's been amazing. We've got amazing response. The attendance is built during the run, and it's it's bittersweet. It feels a bit sad that it's finished, but you know, all things must pass. So we're sort of really pleased how it's gone, though. Really pleased.
Now, this all came about as a consequence of the World Cup draw, and Scotland yet again finding themselves paired with Brazil.
Yes, I mean there are two things. I was very aware of the whole legend of the facts of David Narey's goal and what Jimmy Hill said about it. And I think I was always fascinated by that Jimmy Hill was kind of hated by Scotland fans, or certainly teased very strongly by Scotland fans, at least for a long time afterwards. It wasn't just the following year, this was decades afterwards. Even nothing, he wasn't even there, they'd still be chanting it. And that kind of was just quite a funny thing, really, that was the case. And then I was watching the Denmark game and saw one of those goals, and I think someone texted me just sort of nice toe poke by McLean, just a joke. Obviously it was not a toe poke, but and that got me sort of thinking about that again. And then when the draw came out, I thought, hang on a sec, there's just too many things coming together here. And so I thought, what? And I was looking up, did Jimmy Hill and David Narey ever meet? And I think actually they probably did, but it's not recorded, or there's no sort of record of or accounts of that. So I thought, well, what if they'd met, what they'd said, what would have been the outcome, and then start thinking about it. And then, you know, a few months later, here we are.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And in the middle of it all, having Archie Macpherson there, who was with Billy McNeill, covering on the 18th of June, that Friday night in Seville, early evening over there, searing heat. He was in the commentary box with Billy McNeill describing every moment.
He was, and I've been very fortunate. We got in touch with Archie during this run. He's been absolutely brilliant. You know, he's been very forthcoming. He's appeared on some radio shows and media things talking about it. Obviously, with the fixture this year, that was sort of happening. I think he was prepared for that, but he's always talked very kindly about the play. And it's a shame he was trying to get to the play, but he just couldn't with other commitments. So, because I've been fascinated to hear what he thought of it. But,
Well, I spoke to him on the phone last night because I'm going to see him this Friday, and the first thing he said was, if you get to the show, He said, "Tell me all about it when I see you." So I suspect that the interview will be held up by at least half an hour until we go through the elements of the show tonight.
But he's amazing. I tried to capture some of the ways he's got that sort of, on the one hand, very sort of understated, but then these sort of flourishes of poetry that he comes out. And the thing that in the script where it says McLean's shot flying like a bird in flight through the night sky, he said I've heard him say that, you know, and that's not a sort of normal. It's just this poetry that he comes up with as well, you know. So captured some of that, can't do it full justice.
And commentators of that era had that descriptive language. Definitely. Because I asked you just before the interview if you could actually recollect the game. You were around, you remember watching it because of your Ipswich connection and the Ipswich players in that squad.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the things. But it is also very special. There wasn't a lot of football on the telly, you know. So when there was a game on, you know, and I remember that World Cup, kind of a bit of a tangent, but Northern Ireland beat Spain. And earlier in the game, Mal Donaghy was sent off in that game, and I was crying when Mal Donaghy was sent off. I'd never been to Northern Ireland. I think Northern Ireland, I was like 32 or something. You know, I was 7 at the time. So I didn't know, you know, but it's still like, because you get so invested in the game, so there weren't that many on the telly, whereas now you can't move for football on the telly. So, and that, you know, the crackly commentary down the line, it all added to that thing. And if you listen back to the actual commentary between Watson and Hill, it is crackly and very atmospheric, and it's brilliant. So, yeah, all of that came together, and I wanted to try and, you know, capture some of that. And one little thing, which is nice to me, but when Ross and Duncan, the assistant director, were looking at the footage beforehand, we decided to do that. And then when it's Barry Davies commentating, because he's again another, like him and Archie McPherson, are real voices of that era for me. Never liked Motson, but Davies and McPherson are like that, real voices of that era, you know.
But we mentioned there, obviously, Archie. We know so much about Jimmy Hill, having been a real face of ITV and later BBC and Match of the Day. How about approaching a monkish-like retired footballer in David Narey? I can only recollect 3 occasions that he ever carried out recorded TV interviews, and they were very short in his entire playing career. Was that the most difficult bit?
Well, I mean, he failed. I mean, we didn't get hold of him, but I didn't want to hassle him. I mean, and I think he had a very deliberate and clear decision. That's not what he's a footballer. He's not a media personality, and I completely respect that. So I didn't want to hassle him, but we did make a few efforts to get in touch. People who knew people were sort of saying, trying to tell him about it. But yeah, it was. What I did hear was that with the Brazil fixture this year, he was being asked about this a lot by a lot of media outlets, and he just said, I'm not going to engage with any of them. So on that basis, it's totally reasonable he doesn't engage with that play. But hopefully, you may have seen tonight, there's a guy in a David Narey 14
we're sitting behind him,
shirt, you know, and I spoke to him, and afterwards I went up to him and I thought, God, is he really offended on David's behalf? But he wasn't. He liked it, and he thought that, you know, David wouldn't be, Mr. Narey wouldn't be offended by the characterisation, hopefully. And he is obviously very much a hero of the play, so there's, you know, I hope he'd see it in that way, I'm sure he would.
And the great thing, just to finish with, you know, in my knowledge of the player, you picked out all the really important details, including the reference to Wraith Rovers, you know, as a 38-year-old, because he was certainly, if not in 3, he was man of the match in 2 League Cup finals with Dundee United over a really impressive career.
Totally. I mean, and this is, so for me, I sort of remember around that night, and I also remember speaking subsequently to Ipswich fans, friends of mine, and saying, why wasn't Burley playing that night? This David Narey's George Burley, because he was a superb right back, and he was kind of inhibited in terms of his Scotland caps by first Danny McGrain, and then Jock Steele really liked David Narey. I mean, they really wanted to get him in the team one way or another. He played in midfield, played in centre back, he had the Aberdeen pair at centre back, so he wanted to play him at right back, and obviously it turned out to be a good decision. He's got a wonderful goal. So I mean, I definitely talked about that. Why was Narey even playing? You know, and so I then looked into him, maybe not having me as high profile to me, certainly compared to George Burley. And you realise what an unbelievable career he had. I mean, 800, I think with cup games, there might have been even 900 appearances for Dundee United. I mean, that is extraordinary. I don't know across British football how many players have played 800-900 games at the same club, but it's single figures, isn't it? Generally, yeah, it's very, very rare, and with a lot of success. You know, a really remarkable achievement to do that. And, you know, and obviously it's success for Scotland as well. And I was talking to Alan Patullo from the Scotsman, who's been incredibly helpful and, you know, engaging on this. But Alan's a Dundee fan. Yeah. He was saying, David Narey was just this constant kind of classy presence and always making sure that Dundee United beat Dundee back in the day. I'm sure there'd be an example where they didn't, but you know, he was saying what a top player he was.
Stuart McFarlane talking to the writer of Toe Poke, James Lohman, and Stuart was thrilled to bits to leave the show with his very own Toe Poke t-shirt and mug.
Bringing the festival to you, Fringe Radio.
Well, when putting these shows together, we get a lot of help from PR companies whose job is to promote the hell out of their acts, trying to get as much publicity, of course, as possible for their clients. So I've invited Georgina Carter from Chloe Nelkin Consulting onto the programme to go behind the scenes, as it were. And it's interesting because you were the very first PR person to get in touch with Fringe Radio.
Honoured.
It was a long time ago. And it's funny because, we're getting 50, 60 emails a day from people who, and this is their first contact with us. And of course, it's the early bird that gets the worm, isn't it? And you have certainly got some great acts on your roster.
We do, thank you very much. We do go early, and we obviously meet very early because it's always good to see what the landscape looks like very early on. And it always changes, and it changes up until the day, it changes throughout, but it's always nice to cement those and know who we're talking to so that we know who we're following up with. And so we can be like, Stuart.
How do you choose your clients?
It's a mix of people approach us, and it's a mix of we approach acts. We also do a lot of new business at Fringe. So we see companies throughout just to have them on our radar as well. If they don't fit on our roster this year, maybe future life they can. So it's a big mix of quite short-term lead times, but also long lead relationships. So we like to have companies on our radar, and it's also a mix of being recommended. There are a lot of PR agencies and a lot of freelance out there, so it's a big old smorgasbord of who people like to pick and what basically what we can all offer, and everyone's a bit different in a different way. So it is a bit of a pick a mix of things, but we always like to curate a really nice breadth of roster. So we like serious stuff, we look after clown, we look after circus, autobiographical theatre, we're predominantly theatre, and we've got some comedy on there, but yeah, a nice range of things so that it's always good to have a range of things to offer people. There is a lot of genres that we snuck on your show.
We'll come to that in a minute, but you mentioned the amount of PR companies that they are. It really is competitive, isn't it?
It is, and it's a competitive, saturated market anyway for all the shows at Fringe. So it is competitive when you also bring PRs on. But what's nice about Fringe is that because everyone's up here and everyone's going through a similar pitching process, it is also quite collaborative. So there's always like a few genres or themes that come up every year that are different, that you can almost kind of collaborate and work quite cohesively on. And yeah, we always bump into each other at the Fringe on the early mornings, the late nights, the middle of the days, at the supervisions. And it's just like we feel a bit of community as well. And that's good because it's a lot of hard work.
Absolutely. How much sleep do you get?
It does vary. It ranges. Our mornings start very early. We pick up the papers very early. We do a lot of media monitoring very early. We also do media monitoring throughout and quite late into the night. Usually in the first 2 weeks, we also have like late night supervisions and performance slots that we always make sure that we're at to make sure everything runs smoothly. So it can be long days. But yeah, we always try and get our beauty sleep. And sometimes that doesn't work. You know, it's the Fringe. We roll with the punches.
Well, my typical day is sort of getting in 6 o'clock train, getting in about 7:30, and then get the last train back at 11:45 with lots of things happening in between.
And it's a hard average to pull because when I'm at the Fringe, I get a bit itchy if I have if I'm feeling a bit rough and have a nice early evening, I do get a bit antsy. I think I should be seeing something right now because there's so much to see. So pulling yourself away from the late night comedy to give yourself maybe an early evening once in a while is just necessary. It's a marathon.
It certainly is a marathon, there's no doubt about that. We're halfway through it at the moment.
Exactly.
Today's
Happy halfway point.
Woo! Can we make it through? But of course you've already fallen a couple of hurdles, haven't you?
Yep, getting that Fringe flu. You have to look after yourself.
Plenty of fluids, Georgina.
Yes, exactly. Cheers.
Now, of course, I'm not going to ask you, being totally unfair, and say, well, what are your favourite ones?
Thank you very much.
I wouldn't do that to you. But what are your favourites?
What are my favourites?
I'm only joking. Some of the bigger names that people will have heard of, and then we'll talk about some that are not household names at the moment that you really think are going to do well.
Well, we have 2 rosters that we look after. So we have the main roster who get the full PR package, very proactive campaign, starts very early. Met with you in a very long time ago now. And then we have another roster which we launched a couple of years ago for emerging Edinburgh. For those clients who haven't done Fringe before, it's their first or second time, who just need a bit of support, a bit of direction, and it's a bit of a more reactive campaign. So there's loads of emerging voices on there that I think are definitely ones to watch. On the main roster, we've got Fringe first winners, we've got Joe Selman-Lever, we've got Tom Brennan, we've also got Jitters, we've got the Britney duo, who have been known in their comedy duo for Fringe for quite a while now, but they're also getting some TV stuff. So yeah, so that's Charlie Clive and Ellen Robertson, who have had to run away to HBO. Hey, when HBO calls, you have to go running. So that has to happen. But yeah, it's a lot of breadth, I think. And I think picking shows based on household names and emerging names, it's so difficult because we do curate the roster in such a show heavy way. Like, we always want to know what the show is. There are so many brilliant stories that we have on our roster from names who we haven't heard of before, and they're some of my most favourite shows because I'm just so fascinated by what they've been through. I mean, some of them have been through like an incredible amount of things that deserve to have their stories out there. So that's such a hard question, Stuart, and I don't know if I can give you one apart from that ramble.
I think I know where you're coming from there, so that's okay. But of course, key to all this is having a story to tell, and that helps you immensely.
Yeah, I think there is such a difference in having a story and having it autobiographical, and that's just such a fascinating thing because you know the show and you know the themes, but then when you think about having them already lived it, you know that there's so many like breadcrumbs and so many crevices that they don't even touch upon. So that's just really fun to PR because you get to tell their stories in a different way. And in those interviews, that's what comes out. So it's just really fascinating. And then there's always just the wacky stories that are completely fictional, completely untrue, that you just know that's come from an imagination. That's come from so many development and so many conversations. And that's also just so fun because that process for them is what they've lived through. So yeah, very fun, very good to pitch all of them.
Now it's slightly different because you're not necessarily working in the music industry, but you're doing theatrical stuff, etc.
Yeah.
Certainly in the music industry, if, say for instance, Louis Walsh signs a new act, he knows he's got Westlife, everybody wants a piece of Westlife on their show, and of course he can then pull the trick and say, well, yes, you can have Westlife for 10 minutes, but my new act needs to go on your playlist, A-list, interviews, etc. And that's how it works. So again, I suppose any big name clients that you have, you can probably pull the same trick a wee bit.
Yeah. And I think that's why we have, when people say, oh, how many shows do you have up and how many shows do you look after? Sometimes people are taken back by how many we do look after because it is a lot. I mean, we're a team of 10 at CNC. So we work very collaboratively. So it's not just one person on one campaign. So everyone feels like it's a lot, but actually it does make it easier when you think about the amount of shows that are at Fringe already, having them grouped and people know they can come to us for shows. There's always something to pitch back, and there's always something that you could all can squeeze in there, even if it's like a mention or a later on plug. There's always something to pitch back with. So it's always good to have a really good breadth that we think we do have, and it does make it easier because if we were just looking after 5 shows, it would be quite hard. It would change our strategy immensely because they would be completely different campaigns.
Yeah, and I tell you what's also interesting as well, because we deal with a lot of PR companies. You were the first one to get in touch, as I say, so that's a gold star for you there, no question about it. I was talking to Simon Walton, one of our team, and as I say, we've been in the business a long time. Yes. We've got about over 120 years experience between us, so that's a lot of experience, and we all know how PR...
You don't look it.
Thank you. You see, that's good PR. So you've learnt the trade. And one of the things that we do find on, and we won't name names, but certain PR companies, once they get in touch with you, they're all very nice and everything else, and they make good approaches. But the one thing that really puts us off, and you've clearly learnt that because we've not experienced it with you, but they will come up and say, what questions are you going to ask my clients? Basically, at that moment, we say, right, we don't want to do the interview. I know they have a job to look after their clients, but they have to leave professionals to get on with the job. And as I say, it's a big minus when that happens.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen with you, I guarantee.
Thank you very much. I mean, a lot of PR is trust, and it's building that relationship. So when we send someone to speak for you, we trust you. I mean, it's very old-fashioned. It's very oldie-worldy these days to have approval on copy, to have questions in advance. I mean, some of our clients do ask for it, and sometimes we give our own briefing notes, we reassure them, we hold hands, and we always want everyone to feel comfortable going into interviews. So we do understand sometimes why people would say, oh, do we know what the steer will be or what questions will be asked? And we completely get it. But we also wouldn't be sending people into interviews if we weren't confident in that they could do it, or that, there's no gotcha. There's no gotcha questions here. You need to feel with PR that you trust the host, you trust the journalist, and you trust the client. You also trust us to have acts and guests on your show. So
it's a two-way thing, isn't it?
Absolutely. Completely. And we always, in PR, we always describe ourselves as the kind of invisible middlemen, because we are, apart from right now with the camera and microphone. This is very unusual for a PR. So yeah, we have to have that kind of relationship where you can say, look, this is a trusted op and you will be fine. But yes, it's very unlikely that we would have given questions for this, because it's also their show, and acts love talking about their shows and they love talking about their Fringe experience. So as soon as it feels a bit curated, I mean, that's probably really annoying for you as well, because you want the conversation to sound exactly that, like a conversation, rather than a pre-approved, this is what I can say, this is what I can't say. And obviously that escalates the more A-list, red carpet. I mean, Zendaya's obviously got a lot of pre-approved and things like that, but this is a different bubble. This is a different game.
Absolutely. And I think, obviously the bigger the star, and if they have got a story and some skeletons in the closet, then they will expect those questions to be asked. But they should also be prepared for that. But I think for something like the Edinburgh Fringe, which is what we're really talking about, no real need for that.
And also, as you say, you're thinking of your listeners. You want to sell the show. So yeah, there's no gotcha situation. And if there is a gotcha situation, we do prepare. There are times in PR where you do have to give briefing notes and you do have to say, this is off the record, you can't go there. But I mean, we always ask our acts, is there anything they don't want to discuss? Because we never want to put people in that situation. So it's a very open conversation and dialogue, and it changes. I mean, sometimes halfway through a campaign, they say, I no longer want to discuss this. So we don't want to force people to talk about anything, because it is their life and that's that. But it was never a situation where people feel like they've been bamboozled. That's not very nice.
Because the trick is, if you do want to go down that route, is ask the awkward question at the end of the interview.
Exactly.
So at least you've got something.
You've got the happy content first.
Absolutely, that's the way to do it. Usually at the end of the interview, I will plug the show that you're going to be appearing at. But there's no show for Georgina, which begs the question, you're working in this industry. You must have some talent somewhere, singing, dancing, acting.
Oh my gosh.
Is there going to be a Georgina show?
Here?
This is the final question that I was telling you about.
Oh gosh. No, well, I used to sing.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean you used to?
Well, I used to sing, not professionally, but, in studies and...
Karaoke.
Of course.
What's your karaoke song? See, these are the big questions that everyone wants to know now. Right at the end of the interview.
So my musical karaoke song, Waitress. It has to be Waitress. Waitress the musical. That song for karaoke, an absolute cracker.
Mm-hmm. Let's hear a bit.
As I was saying, Stuart.
Oh, he's got a sore throat.
I am recovering from Fringe flu very early on, and it wasn't the parties, it wasn't the shows, it was simply the immune system.
Right, okay, I'll take your word for that. You've got out of jail free there on that one. Obviously, immersing yourself in the Fringe, seeing all these acts on stage, the buzz that they get by being on stage. Ever tempted to do something? A one-woman show? Or
I mean, I had an art practice. I did fine art at university and English literature
so
before.
You got the grounding.
I know, but I found very early on at university that I loved looking after everyone else's and giving advice on everyone else's practice much more than doing my own. I'm such a procrastinator. I am a last-minute person unless it's someone else's stuff. And that's something that I found, and it works for PR, because the passion is selling and pitching everyone else's projects. And that works very well for me, because I would always do that before getting on with my own stuff. I've just put all of those skills into this, and I'm quite lucky I took to PR very quickly. So that's good, because it's very social, it's a very relationship heavy job. So you have to have the mindset for it, otherwise it becomes very unbearable very quickly. And what was the question, Stuart?
Well, I think you beautifully avoided it.
No, I would never. Audience participation, I love selling. I don't like being involved. I would shrink back. Invisible middleman, that's what a PR is. And I'm staying there.
But you see, you said you've never done an interview before for the radio and stuff, and you've just taken to it like a duck to water. Which is fabulous, but there we are. It's really good to talk to you, Georgina, and thanks for being a good sport and coming on the programme. Georgina
great.
Carter from Chloe Nelkin Consulting, a great PR company who have helped us an awful lot. So the best, apparently, and well, that remains to be seen, doesn't it? But I'm pretty sure you're right up there. And we'll be talking, no doubt, to some more of your guests throughout the rest of the Fringe. But thanks so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you, Stuart. Thank you so much.
The delightful Georgina Carter ending the programme today. But we'll be back on Fringe Radio again tomorrow. But that's it for today. Thanks for listening. And from me, Stuart Cameron, and the team, bye for now.